Through financial numbers, looking at different things, I thought I'd love to help people have a great retirement, secure their future. It'd be wonderful if I could help them, and I'd make a ton of money doing it. And I thought this would be awesome. Love to do that. Chose a different route because of various different things, but still, through real estate, I found there's a lot of different benefits that you can get through investing. Okay, so we're going to cover a few of those things. What are the benefits to investing in real estate? Okay, some of those things are you have something that's physical. It's not going to go out of business. You're not going to be the next Blockbuster. The house down the street doesn't just go out of business when you own that. Okay, it's a physical property that many people love to be able to drive by and say, I own that. Okay, instead of when you go search on Google, I'm sure there's very few people that say, oh, I love owning 1/4 of 1% of that stock. Okay, it's something where there's many times for myself, I love driving by a property and pointing over to my kids and saying, hey, I own that right there. That's my house. That's a property right there. We have somebody that's paying us to live in that house. And it's pretty fun to be able to take a look and see something and feel it. Okay, so if you were to invest in just stocks, I learned this principle in college, the answer to this question here. So if somebody wanted in retirement to receive $40,000 a year, so let's say that you're going to get Social Security income, most people are going to get something from that. Hopefully it'll still be around for the youngest in this group. But if you wanted $40,000 a year, aside from your Social Security income, how much money would you need to have invested?
$1.5 million.
$1.5 million, good guess. Million? Why do you say million?
Because of the 4% rule.
Okay, because of the 4% rule. Financial advisors use that all the time. In retirement, they say, if you want to have an income, whatever your income is, you should be looking at having a nest egg. So the income should be 4% of whatever your nest egg is. Okay, so not including your home value or other assets, whatever is invested, that amount times 4%, that's what financial advisors say should be what you keep in your investments. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? So, question a lot of people say is, why is it 4%? I thought the stock market made a lot more money than that, right? I mean, on average, I've seen a lot of different things. Dave Ramsey talks about the stock market making 12%. Every financial advisor I've talked to says that's unrealistic. They've never seen that in mutual funds, but 7% is a pretty typical return. What about 8, 9, 10%? Stock market goes up pretty well. So why is it 4%? I'm going to give you a little example right here so you can see. So again, it's $1 million that you want to have for that $40,000 a year. But I'm going to show you how, on average, this can make a big difference. And why it is that in 2008, 2009, many retirees were just devastated, didn't know what to do. Okay, so here's the example. Again, you have the nest egg, $1 million. You want $40,000 a year, right? So you're 4%. So if you have $1 million and the stock market goes up 4% and you're invested in that stock market, you take out $40,000, what are you left with? $1 million. Stays the same. Okay, and if you can consistently get that 4% every year, you're not going to be taking from your nest egg, you're only going to be taking the increase. And you're going to continue to maintain that $1 million, right? But if it went up in the first year 10%, and you still take out the $40,000, what are you left with?
$1 million something.
More than $1 million.
More than $1 million. $1,060,000. Okay, so you take 10% of the $1 million. That's $100,000. Add that onto the million. Subtract 40,000. It gives you $1,060,000. Okay, everybody follow the math? Not going to do much math today, but my financial degree allows me to use a calculator. So, what if in the second year it goes down 50%? You still take out 40,000 because you need that to live in retirement. What are you left with?
460,000, something like that.
Good guess. 490,000. Goes down 50%. So 50% of 1.06 is 530. And then subtract the 40,000, you get 490. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? So what happened in 2008, 2009? The stock market crashed. Real estate market crashed too. But when you have that crash, then over the last 10 years, we've had a great stock market. Best market we've seen. But here's the difference. We went down 50%. Let's say that the very next year, let's say that the stock market went up 70%. What would you be left with? Okay, you still have to take the $40,000 out to live off of because that's what you're doing in retirement. Numbers there, it's going to be $793,000. Okay, because 70% of the 490 is 343. Subtract the 40,000 gives you 793. So even though the year before it was 50% decline, it went up 70% the next year, you'd think, oh, I got as much back and more. That's not necessarily the case. So in this scenario right here, those 3 years, what was the average return on the stock market?
Negative.
The average return on this stock market right here,
Oh.
10%. Okay, so if I could tell you you could get 10% on average each year over the next 3 years, you start with $1 million and you're gonna end up with 793. Who wants to take that? Right? So that is one of the reasons why it is that financial advisors say you have to have 4% because there's gonna be ups, there's gonna be downs, but they also say, let's put some money in a safe bond. It used to always be stocks and bonds. Now there's other options like annuities and other things that people will push, securities. I'm not going to go into those different ideas. We're going to talk about real estate today, okay, and why there are more benefits. So with the stock market, there are only 1 or 2 ways that you make money for the most part. What are those ways? Stock market can go up, the value of the property appreciates, or not the property, of the asset that you're investing in, or if you get a stock that has dividends, okay, that's going to pay you out. But most stocks don't have the dividend, okay? So most people are looking at just appreciation. And in retirement, these kinds of declines kill your retirement. And it makes you just devastated. Exactly. When you have that. So I'm going to show you why real estate is something that even in the downturn in 2006, 7, 8 in real estate, it didn't matter if you're looking at retirement. Okay, so let's take a look at that.